What is going on, guys, and welcome to a brand new video. And today we're going to be breaking down why Ogre Magi has a 51.4% win rate. Now, a lot of you guys might be wondering, well, 51.4% win rate isn't that crazy and it's nothing to be going crazy about, but I just really wanted to make this video because of how underrated core Ogre Magi is. A lot of players seem to think that this hero is boring to play for some reason, or they just don't want to pick it. I don't see this hero enough in my games, and this hero provides so much value, especially being a core. Now, I obviously have seen a lot of people griefing when they're playing support and they get a Hand of Midas first item, and sometimes they do and it actually pays off, but most of the time they end up buying 0 support items, which is really the big problem people have with playing Ogre Magi support. They're actually not playing support. I really have no problem with ogres going Midas because it's really good, and if you're actually buying support items, it'll actually help you get support items a lot quicker, so I definitely don't mind that. But core Ogre Magi is what's going to be on the menu today, and this hero is absolutely insane. You guys need to play this hero core more often. It is so fun to play, especially when they change them, that now it actually benefits a lot from gaining strength, because it not only helps you get more mana pool, it also helps you get more multicast. Every 20 strength, I believe, is 1%, which is quite a bit, and eventually you're going to have a lot of strength going for you, so those extra percentages are going to help you keep very long multicast sprees, and they're going to help you get really crazy lockdowns in the late game when you start pairing it with Hex and E-Blade, and it can get very crazy on a hero that you can typically play from the offlane or the mid lane. It's always going to be very nice. I love playing Ogre Magi from the mid lane, especially because a lot of people don't expect the pick, and it could definitely blow up a lot of melee heroes. It definitely does very well against all the spirits, even though they're kind of dead now, but it does very well against most of the heroes that are currently being played in the mid lane. This hero is especially good at taking down very tanky heroes because multicast is just so nice. Fire Blast is nice, and so is Ignite, and you also get to buff up yourself. A lot of people sleep on the right click of Ogre Magi. A lot of people have actually gone Harpoon and they end up going for items like Gleipnir, and they actually build right click Ogre, which is really fun to play. You guys should definitely give that a try. It's definitely more of a meme than anything else, but it's still very fun, and it could definitely work into the right matchups. If you're an Ogre player, you definitely understand when you can actually go right click. Keep that in mind. It's definitely a very fun build, but typically Ogre Magi is good up against heroes like Ursa, Night Stalker, Troll Warlord, Drow Ranger. These are the typical heroes you want to see if you're playing it from the off lane, and if you're playing it from the mid lane, I always enjoy going up against any melee hero, and also heroes like Shadow Fiend. This is one of the few heroes that can actually go toe to toe with Shadow Fiend, because if you watch out and you don't get hit with a ton of raises, you can actually win this matchup quite easily, because there is so much burst damage to be had on this hero that you will make the Shadow Fiend buy so much regen, and it's going to force him into a very sad position that he definitely doesn't want to be in, because Ogre is so tanky. He's not easy to kill. The Shadow Fiend doesn't have enough damage early on to kill him unless you're just absolutely out of position. You're eating every single raise and you're going for the wrong CS. You're not denying enough. Basically, if you're not playing the lane correctly, you will definitely lose. But if you are playing the lane correctly, there's no reason why you should not beat, or at least go even with a Shadow Fiend player. I definitely enjoy playing that matchup all the time, and I hardly lose it even against really good Shadow Fiend players. It's definitely a very fun matchup. And Ogre is typically bad up against illusion heroes such as Naga, Phantom Lancer, Chaos Knight, and heroes like Anti-Mage that just want to get on top of you. But even Anti-Mage doesn't like to go up against Ogre Magi, because yes, you can burn his mana pool, but he's a natural soul ring buyer, so he typically doesn't care a whole lot. And yes, you can deflect his Ignite, you can deflect Fire Blast as well, so it can definitely be a little bit difficult for the Ogre, but it's definitely a very nice matchup overall, because if you play Soul Ring or Mana Boots, you're going to have a good time against the Anti-Mage and not really worry about dying to a hero like that, as you are very tanky. So it's definitely a matchup that's bad, but not really too bad. And the item builds you typically want to go for on core Ogre is always you go for the Hand of Midas. You could go for 2 bracers if you feel like it's going to be a very heavy harass lane. It's going to benefit you a lot, as the strength is always nice on a hero like Ogre, and it's going to help you get that extra little bit of mana pool that you're going to need. Then you go back for the Soul Ring, which is always a must, because Mana Boots are typically not that great on core Ogre. That's more for support. It's definitely not that great of an item. And then you can go back for items like Heart. You can go for Sanjin Kaya, you can go for Hex and E-Blade. It honestly depends what type of Ogre style you want to play. If you want to go for more of a magic build, then you go for the E-Blade Octarine. Then you can pump out a lot of damage. You can get Ether Lens as well, which is always nice. If you're unlucky with the neutral items and you don't get any cast range items, you can always go back for an Ether Lens. It's always going to be cheap, and you can actually build it into the mana boots and then disassemble it. So it's always going to be that extra value that you're able to play a little bit more aggressive on the map. And one of the items that is very underrated on this hero is actually Boots of Travels. It's an item I was never building before, but I saw somebody playing with it and I was like, wow, this is actually really, really nice. It makes this hero who's typically kind of slow, even though Bloodlust is very nice, it buffs your movement speed. Typically, he's a very slow hero. So this helps you get around the map, make a lot of rotations, especially when you're playing it from the mid lane. You can easily get this at a very quick timing when you get your minus around 7 to 8 minutes, and then you can get your Boots of Travels by around 10 to 11 minutes. You're going to be very active on the map, and on a super tanky hero that does a lot of damage and is buffing up his cores, it's definitely going to be a very nice threat. And I do like the pairings of Faceless Void and Lone Druid for this hero. Luna as well is very nice. So definitely keep in mind what carry are you guys playing with. I definitely enjoy it more on the Lone Druid because the bear benefits so heavily from attack speed that it's always going to be a very nice combination. So if you guys see a Lone Druid carry, you can definitely pick up the Ogre from the mid lane or the off lane. You're going to have a lot of fun with it, and they're definitely going to be very happy with your pick because Lone Druid likes all the buffs he can get. But overall, this hero is just extremely underrated, should definitely be picked a lot more. Hopefully you guys did enjoy the video and learned something. I hope you guys are playing core Ogre. If you guys are Ogre spammers or Ogre players, let me know what is your favorite position to play Ogre Magi in. I would definitely like to know. For me, it's always going to be from the mid lane as I'm a mid lane player, but I've also played in position 4 and position 5 and from the off lane. But my favorite position overall that I think suits him the most, but is still kind of situational, as some picks can definitely go wrong for him, but most of the time is going to have a pretty decent time, and just the fact that you can multicast Midas is going to help you out in any single game. You're pretty much going to outscale everybody just off the fact of Midas, so you don't really need to be out there hitting too many creeps. You can be extremely active and just work around the multicast on your Midas. If you guys did enjoy the video, a like would be much appreciated. I will see you guys in the next one. Thank you so much for watching.